Okay, day one of the potato diet for me. It is 12:30 and I'm starving. I'm starving. But I can do this. We're gonna wait until 5 o'clock to have our first meal because Brian likes the having a fasting window is what he calls it. So we're gonna try. We're gonna see if I make it. But I'm pretty hungry. And I did have coffee this morning to have some caffeine because that's one of the problems that Brian has had is where he just stops caffeine cold turkey and then he gets really bad headaches. So I did have coffee, but just black, not without my awesome sugary giant dollop of creamer in it. But I guess that was okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do 0.31 and 1/4. And you've got to convert that, we're converting it into a fraction.
Yes.
Right? So this is like a mixed decimal fraction. Right? All right. So if you were going to write this as a fraction, how would you write it?
The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. We're going to take the whole thing and we're going to write it as a fraction to start with.
Just put that over 100, I guess?
That's exactly right.
Is that possible?
That's exactly right. So it's 31 and 1/4 over 100.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So that's the equivalent of this. We haven't changed anything. We're just writing it in a different way because that is 31 hundredths, 31 and 1/4 100ths.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now you remember yesterday we talked a little bit about you can split that up a little bit, right?
Yeah, you can.
How would you split that up?
31 and 1/4 over 100.
Yeah. So 31 100ths plus 1/4 100th.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So still haven't really changed anything.
Yeah.
We're just writing it in different ways.
Yes.
Okay? This one's, fine. That's a fraction. We're sort of cool with that, right? But now we have to figure out what to do with that.
Yeah.
So what's another way to write that? How would you say that? No. 1/4.
Over 100.
Just, what does over 100 mean?
Divided by 100.
Divided by 100, right? So now we've got 1/4 divided by 100.
And then we could put that
If we wanted to write one, you could put 100 over 1 to make it a fraction.
Okay.
So now you've got a fraction divided by a fraction.
And then you flip it and multiply it.
Yeah, so you take 1/4 times, and then you flip this one.
You only flip that one?
Yeah, you only flip the second. If you flip them both, you kind of the same thing. You convert it. You only flip the second one. Yeah, you only flip the second one. I mean, it's cross multiply. Yeah, just flip it and multiply. Okay. So now what does this equal?
That would be 1 over 400.
1 over 400. So now this is the same as that, right?
Yes.
We've just simplified this
Into
to this.
a better fraction.
So now you've got 31 over 100 plus 1 over 400, right?
400.
Because I just replaced this.
Yes.
So we still got this same plus equation here,
Okay.
right? So now, what do I have to do to add these together?
So the common denominator would be 400.
Common denominator would be 400, right? So this one's already 400.
And then that would be
What do you have to do at the bottom?
400, and then
What do you have to do to get this to 400?
times it by 4.
Yep.
So 31 times 4, we did this yesterday, is 124.
124. So 124, 400s. 124 over 400 plus 1 over 400 equals.
That would equal, and then we just add these normally.
Yep.
125.
125 over 400.
Yay.
And then how do we simplify?
How do we simplify that? We should simplify it by maybe 25.
25, okay. So 25 into 125.
25 goes into 125, 5 times.
5 times. And then that 25 into 400.
And 25 into 400, 16 times maybe?
16 times. So 5 60s.
Cool. And we can't split up 5 anymore, so that's really good.
Yeah, 5 is prime number, so you're not going to be, there's no factors.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So you can't break it down anymore. So 5/16 is the way to write 0.31 and 1/4
Okay.
as a fraction.
Cool.
Does that all make sense?
Yes.
And I will leave this piece of paper with you
So I can
so you
understand.
can see the workflow of what we did, right?
Yes.
So first step is just write it as a fraction, right? So just take this and put it over whatever
Yeah, I
place
didn't
it's
know
in.
that was possible to do. It
And then you can
seemed
split
right.
it out and start playing around with it. The other way, do you want me to show you the other way that we did, or do you want to stick with this way and not confuse dealing with the other way?
I want to see the other way. I probably won't use it. I just want to see it.
So the other way is to take this 31 and 1/4 that's kind of up here, and instead of splitting it out, you just make it a fraction, right? So basically, you're dealing with fourths, So
this is the way I think they were doing it in the online.
4/4
Yeah.
is 1.
1.
Right? And if you multiply anything by 1, you get what?
1.
Itself. Right? It says itself. So 31 times 1
would be.
but in fourths is a way of converting 31 into fourths. Right?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You
Yes.
kind of see what I'm doing here a little bit? So you get kind of the same thing because we've already done this. So this is what, 124
Yeah, 124.
over 4.
Yes.
Right? So now I've taken 31 and made that fourths, and then there's 1/4 to go with it, so I get 125 over 4. I get kind of the same thing.
And then you simplify and you get 5/16.
And then you simplify and you get down to 5/16, right?
Okay.
But-
Which way should I
But
use
what
it?
I did here, instead of sort of splitting them out a little bit, you just kind of solve this as a fraction. And so really what you're the mechanics, I'm showing you the reason that you do it, because you want to make 31 in terms of fourths, so you can add it to this 1/4.
Okay.
And the way you do that is you multiply it by 1, so you don't change the value, but you use, since you're doing fourths, 4/4 equals 1.
Okay.
That's the reason you do it, but the way that the mechanics of doing it
It just changes the way you
is
write
you
it.
multiply this number times this number, and then add that number, and put it on top
Yeah.
of fourths, right? So 31 times 4 plus 1 equals 125
Yeah.
over 4.
Which way should I do?
Well, I'm just saying, this is the mechanics.
Yeah.
But in order to do this, I want you to understand why you're doing it. I don't
Yeah.
want you to just learn
That.
that this is how you arrive at the right number. I need you to understand why this works
So this
and why you're
is-
doing it. This makes more sense to me.
Okay.
The top way that we did it.
Yeah.
So this is the way I do
That's
it.
faster.
But yeah, so it's faster if you just know the shortcut and the mechanic. So if you say 17 and 3/8,
Sure.
right? So you would do 17 times 8, and whatever you got, you would do plus 3. So you
Yeah,
also
and I
do it
understand
here.
why that's faster.
17 times 8 plus 3 over 8
Yes.
is the same as that, but written as a fraction.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
So that's the shortcut.
Yes.
But in order for you to use the shortcut in this house,
I
you have to understand
I have to do that.
what's actually happening and why the shortcut works and why you're doing it.
Okay. So
Right.
I should do this for this problem? Just to.
Yeah, I mean, you only got like 4 problems here, right? So
Yeah.
I would work them out long ways so that you really understand it.
Okay.
And then you can use this to check your answer,
Okay.
to make sure you got the right answer. You can use the shortcut mechanic.
Okay.
Deal?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Can I get an update on how
Think I
you're
should do
doing
Valentine's?
on your first day of the potato diet?
I feel fine. I
feel
probably,
fine.
were I not on the potato diet, I probably would not have eaten yet today. So it's not really significantly different today.
You're-
Mommy is
you're not
starving.
I am not starving.
Mommy is.
Mommy's
I
starving.
normally, I have to make myself eat before, lunch.
Okay,
at least,
so let's
if I
make-
come home from work.
Let's make a plan,
Okay.
because I'm starving.
Okay.
What are we eating and when are we eating it?
We're eating potatoes.
I know, but what kind? I bought a whole bunch of different kinds.
Did you? I'm taking a russet potato.
Okay.
And I'm putting it in the microwave probably because it's faster. What do you want to wait an hour while your potato cooks in the oven?
Well, I thought you made them into fries and then cooked them in the oven and all
Can't do
that.
that yet.
You probably want to, get sick of baked potatoes before you start spicing things up a little bit.
Think of it like
Right.
the apocalypse. It's the apocalypse and there's only potatoes.
Just
the Martian. It's the Martian.
pretend you're in the Martian. Yeah,
You can
pretend you're
only
Matt
eat
Damon
potatoes.
on
Right,
Mars, and all you've got is potatoes.
Right.
And so and you're also at like quarter rations. You have to
Right.
ration out your potatoes, even though that's all you've got. So tonight we're gonna throw some potatoes in the microwave. You got to eat them skin and all, and you're just gonna eat a couple of potatoes when I get home from work.
Okay, and you're gonna be home by 5.
I should be home by 5.
Okay. All right. We'll see you then.
Okay, so now we're going to the park, and hopefully we'll grab a couple pictures of me and Cooper playing on the play structure and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just gonna go and hang out at the park for a little bit.
It's a nice day, and it gets me
Yeah.
off with the fact that I'm starving.
It's a nice day, and it's going to distract Mommy from the fact that she is starving because of the potato diet.
Okay. Hi. I just had my first potato.
Not ever.
Well, no. But I went all the way until almost 5 o'clock without
You
eating
like
today.
potatoes?
I do like potatoes. Those were not very good.
Mm-mm.
No.
Which one? Wasn't those?
Yeah. It was microwaved and it was kind of chewy.
We cook it in the oven tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we can do better with the preparation.
Yeah, you slowly ramp up, it gets better and better. I got a feeling Mommy's going to be very whiny throughout this process.
It was not pleasant.
I lost 4 pounds though.
Yeah, Brian lost 4 pounds. I lost 0 because how can you lose weight in one day? But he did. So
Well,
yeah,
most of it was because I was full of food when I weighed yesterday.
I'm gonna be
not
real
today.
whiny.
It's all going to be worth it though. You'll feel a lot better in a couple of days. It takes a couple of days.
I'm kind of tired. I could go to bed.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah. So, can you explain to everyone what the potato diet is?
Well, it's a very low calorie diet. It's a mono diet, so you only eat one thing. It could be other stuff. Potatoes is just a really good mono diet because they're complete, sort of nutritionally. They're complete proteins and stuff, which is really good, amino acids. But you could do apples or you could do other things as well as a mono diet, but potatoes is a really good mono diet. So very low calorie to kind of get you kick-started. We're also, at least today, Mommy is doing the feed window, which is an intermittent fast. And so, you know, you don't eat anything other than like in a window from like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. You don't eat outside of that window. And so you're combining a lot of different things that there's a lot of research going on around right now. Right? Very low calorie diets, which has shown to like extend life expectancy in mice and in different sort of research. And then there's the intermittent fasting, which has its own sort of benefits that go on. The mono diet is a little bit more really like a psychological thing than it is about your physical health. So the mono diet is about breaking the association with flavor and eating, and like eating less as like a social or sort of a pleasurable experience, and more about fueling. It's more about getting your nutrients, and then it also resets your palate. So you when you do start eating other things like vegetables and fruits and stuff, they'll be much more flavorful to you because you're not used to a lot of fat and salt and sort of processed things that cause the food to be flavor. Like what you consider to be flavorful right now is a little unhealthy, and so when you reset your palate, you'll find other things to be a lot sweeter and more flavorful without having the salt and oils and things like that. There's also some research that says that it's about killing off some of your gut bacteria, right? That, like, you know, your number of cells in your body, less than half of them are part of your body. Like more than half of them are other things, microbes that live inside of you, right? And the group of those in your gut like help you digest food. So like you can't really digest food on your own necessarily. You have bacteria in your gut, your flora mostly, that helps you digest your food, and there's a certain type of flora or certain types of flora that help digest meat, and that them digesting meat and the digestion of meat is not necessarily bad in and of itself, but some of the waste products of those bacteria can be harmful. And so while you know, eating meat and having meat in your diet is not a bad thing in and of itself, some of the waste products from some of those bacteria can be kind of bad for your body. And so when you're not eating meat, a lot of those bacteria die off because you're not feeding them anymore. They're not getting the meat that they need to survive, and so they die off. And as they die off, you start to feel a little bit better as well. But
so you couldn't just not eat meat and the same thing happened?
No, you could, absolutely. Like I said, it's several things. It's the whole reset your palate thing. It's just discipline. It sort of gets you the exercise of being disciplined about what you eat and stuff. And so the mono diet thing is much more about, like I said, more psychological than it is like physiological, right? Whereas the intermittent fasting and the very low calorie diet have like physiological effects. And I don't recommend that anyone do these without doing sort of a lot of research and
talk to your doctor.
Look into it and figure out if this is kind of a good thing for you to do or not. But for me, I've got a lot, my body's got a lot of extra to live off of while I do a very low calorie diet. And then I've sort of experienced some of the benefits firsthand myself. And I go to the doctor, I got my blood checked. Like I was going through the kidney donation stuff while I was doing some of this before. And so I was going to the doctor, I was getting my blood tested, I was seeing what my blood levels were and like all kinds of different categories, and could see that I was maintaining good health during the time that I was doing this kind of stuff. And so I know that it kind of worked out for me.
Well, I ate the potato, and I wouldn't say that I'm full.
You eat another potato? You can eat as many potatoes as you want. There's no limit on the number of potatoes that you can eat while you're on the potato diet phase of this diet. It's just 2 weeks of nothing but potatoes, and then you can add back in like vegetables and like whole foods and stuff like that, right? Say hi, Cooper.
Hello.
So eat more potatoes. If you're not full, eat more potatoes.
Okay.
But you'll start, what the other thing that the mono diet does with your like relationship with food is that you're not going to overeat, right? Like you're not going to eat a couple of extra potatoes tonight,
Right.
Even though you're full,
Right.
you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and eat a couple more potatoes,
No,
right?
I'm not.
So you're only going to eat what you need to feel full and feel sort of satiated, right? And so it really kind of changes. Like you'll notice when you go off of this and start eating other things, your portions will change. Like portion control becomes a big piece of it and stuff, right? So you're not going to overeat while you're doing this
No,
because you're
I'm
going to want some extra microwave potatoes,
No, I'm not.
right? So it'll help you in that way as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see how
Good times. Day one.
day one.
Day one with no food and one potato.
No potatoes food.